Right now, this massive predator is smelling a seal hidden under 3 feet of solid ice from half a mile away. The Arctic is effectively a frozen desert. To survive in these sub-zero temperatures, a polar bear must consume approximately 4.4 pounds of pure fat every single day. Seals are the only prey that meet this immense energetic demand. The rich blubber from a single kill can bankroll a bear's metabolic needs for up to 8 days. There is a biological catch. Despite being classified as marine mammals, polar bears are remarkably poor swimmers compared to the seals they hunt, lacking the streamlined bodies to chase them down in open water. To stay alive, a polar bear must outsmart an aquatic acrobat. It does this by weaponizing the frozen, shifting architecture of the sea ice to level the playing field. It's easy to assume that a polar bear blends into this landscape because it has white fur. That assumption is entirely wrong. Beneath its coat, a polar bear's skin is completely black. This anatomical adaptation allows the animal to absorb and retain maximum heat from the sun's rays. The coat itself is made of clear, hollow tubes called guard hairs. These transparent cylinders trap a layer of insulating air close to the body, while simultaneously reflecting all visible light to create perfect optical camouflage. Utilizing this visual cloaking, a bear will travel crosswind for up to 20 miles. It maintains a constant angle to intercept the scent drifting from an oglue, a small breathing hole maintained by a seal. This specialized anatomy takes a massive, heavy predator and turns it into an invisible, precision-guided ghost, perfectly adapted to stalk the frozen sea ice. Once the bear locates a breathing hole, it begins a grueling process known as still hunting. It lies completely motionless beside the opening, sometimes for days at a time, to conserve energy and prevent its heavily insulated body from overheating. When the seal finally surfaces, the waiting polar bear strikes with explosive, crushing force to drag its prey out. A successful hunt provides a massive influx of calories. For a pregnant female who has spent the spring gorging on seal blubber, these fat reserves are her only lifeline as she prepares to build a maternity den. She is entering a state of walking hibernation. This is an extreme biological condition where the bear remains active and even nurses her young while fasting completely for up to 8 months. To survive starvation, her body recycles nitrogenous waste, breaking down urea to synthesize amino acids, preserving skeletal muscle. Simultaneously, temporary insulin resistance blocks glucose from entering body cells, which burn lipid stores instead, redirecting blood sugar to power her brain. The polar bear's metabolism is a high-wire act, perfectly calibrated to run an enormous biological machine entirely on stored fat for months on end. Inside the dark, isolated den, the massive, fasting mother gives birth to highly vulnerable cubs. They are born blind, toothless, and weigh only 500 grams. She sustains them through an immense energetic sacrifice. Without eating a single meal or drinking a drop of water, she produces highly concentrated milk that is over 30% fat. Powered by this rich diet, the cubs grow rapidly, reaching 10 kilograms by the time they emerge from the den and see sunlight for the first time in the spring. The family now faces intense pressure. They must migrate away from the den and make the long trek back to the sea ice to hunt before the mother's energy ledger hits zero. The survival of the entire species is bankrolled by the mother's internal metabolic ledger. If she cannot find solid ice to hunt on when she returns to the coast, the family dies. Today, anthropogenic climate change is causing that critical Arctic sea ice to fracture and vanish for increasingly long periods each year. This environmental shift forces an impossible choice on the bears. They must either migrate vast distances to chase the retreating ice northward, or become stranded on the coastline and face prolonged starvation. As the ice breaks apart, these structurally poor swimmers are forced into grueling, long-distance swims across the open ocean to find stable hunting grounds. We know the true scale of these forced aquatic migrations thanks to scientific GPS telemetry data gathered from the animals themselves. The tracking data reveals extreme physical endurance. Female bears have been recorded swimming continuously for up to 426 miles, remaining in the freezing water for 9 days straight. This exacts a catastrophic biological cost. Adult bears can lose up to 22% of their total body mass during these swims, and 45% of young cubs forced to follow their mothers die from exhaustion and hypothermia. The open water, once just a minor obstacle between ice flows, has become a freezing desert that actively drains their meticulously hoarded energy reserves to the point of death. This chart shows the harsh mathematical reality of a bear stranded on ice-free land. Every single day without access to seals, a fasting bear loses approximately 1 kilogram of its body mass. Predictive models outline a stark trajectory. If the land-based fasting period extends to 180 days, over half of all subadult bears will starve to death. When those fat reserves are absolutely exhausted, the animal simply cannot go any further. The polar bear is not failing because it is biologically weak. It is failing because it is an evolutionary masterpiece, hyper-specialized for a frozen architecture that is now vanishing beneath its paws.